Hi, very good afternoon to everyone. This is Amit here from IBM. I work as a technical partner for data and AI products. I also have Vishal Saurav, my colleague, who's from the software architect department. So we'll get started with today's presentation. The topic for today's discussion is on the operationalizing GenAI for government and PSUs. So I've been closely working with the government departments and have tried to kind of summarize a list of the common challenges that are faced by the government departments. First is they are mostly into the paper-based transaction. The data is not in a digital format. I think most of them are in a phase wherein they are moving from the paper-based to a digital format. And second is there are a lot of manual signatory that are involved, and most of the forms are in a native language like Malayalam and Marathi or whatever the Indian languages are there. So basically, even for the electoral cards and all that, I think those are in Malayalam based. And there are a lot of repetitive tasks, and the data is not in a centralized format. So I think within a department, the data is very siloed. And the data foundation is not very strong in terms like, if there are some decisions that has to be taken, it is not in a data-driven decision format. It is mostly in a reactive basis. So I think even the project management that happens, it's like, the projects are ongoing, but then the dispersals are happening. And also the dispersal amount, we are not able to track the status and how much of work is done. And basically there are some data quality issues as well. So basically how IBM can help is, we help with the data collation, since we have multiple sources, and we also do the OCR extraction. So basically whatever the Indian languages are there, I think we can convert that into Indian format, to an English format, that is very easily translatable actually. So for this, we can also do it through a golden record. So basically since there are multiple, data points that are there, so there might be some cases wherein the data might be a little duplicate or there might be some fraudulent data as well. So basically how do you identify that, the data that you're using is correct? So for that, we do the data conversion and the golden record to the master data management. And we also need a storage platform, like, once we have the data that is kind of cleansed, but how do you store it? And then we kind of work on the data quality as well. So since there are multiple, forms and also the processes that are there, so we can also work on the workflow automation. So, automating the multiple tasks that are there, along with the data analysis and ML models, because usually the ask is like we have the data, and then without the data, we want the AI implementation. So that might not be possible actually. So to kind of, to make AI fruitful, so we'll have to kind of make sure that the data foundation is very strong first. Okay. So moving on to the next one, in IBM, we have the data automation hybrid and the AI platform. So with this platform, we can always come up with the use cases that we have been working for the government. So starting with the innovation part. So first is on the citizen engagement. Basically work on like, there are multiple schemes that have been available, how do you make the policies, how do you kind of collaborate, how do you kind of, work with the citizen centricity, because government uses a lot of citizen data, and then like how do you come up with the data driven decision making. So for that, you would need a, hardware component, starting with the Z or the Linux one. That helps in reducing the cost plus improving the efficiency. So we also have the quantum implementation that is being done. And we also have our hybrid cloud platform with Red Hat. So Red Hat OpenShift is like a low code, no code platform. So basically here we can kind of implement applications, in a more effective way. To support that, we have our flagship product called watsonx with watsonx.data and watsonx.ai and the governance part. So with watsonx.data, basically we can do a lot of advanced analytics. We can do the predictive modeling. And with the watsonx.data, we can use the lakehouse concept. So with the lakehouse, in the sense, it is, we have the traditional warehouse. With this lakehouse, you can kind of store large amounts of data. So with this, it can be an image or it can be, a video format. So basically, you'll not have to kind of struggle with the format of the data. So how are we going to do is we have our process automation, integration across departments, IT automation, security, sustainability. So basically with this, I think we'll be able to have a better cyber security as well as a good governance. So in order to kind of have an innovative and experiential environment, we kind of operate on an open and agile environment with the government. So basically providing them transparency and accountability along with collaboration with the key stakeholders. So I think with this, we are able to kind of enable the GenAI part of it. So now going into like GenAI, so people will be understanding, everyone is talking about GenAI and how are you going to implement it. So basically understanding, like we already have the traditional ML models, which are like more of siloed models. And then with the foundation models, I think it is more of adaptable and it can be a multitasking model. So it's like basically multiple models working together. And foundation models are basically, trained models for unlabeled data. So whenever we have a data, there might be some data points that you can identify, some will be in an unstructured format. So for that, I think it will help using the self-supervision. So with this, I think we can also use it for the translation, sentiment analysis, and also the code generation. So basically the difference between GenAI and Agentic AI is, GenAI, you're able to kind of generate the content in terms of like, you want to generate an image or a video or some presentation. So basically what you would be doing is you would be giving it as a prompt. So most of us would have used ChatGPT, right, to understand like, you want a data or a presentation. So with that, I think this is the backend, like how exactly the foundation models will be used. So with this, the key advantages is we can have a faster deployment and also the incremental revenue and also the reduction in the CPU cycles required for running the models actually. So yeah, so basically we don't need an AI for all the requirements. So basically on the client requirement, see if you want just have like a pattern matching, you can use the traditional models. And for assistance, we can use a single step process, or you want to agent, you want to automate certain things on a corrective basis, then we can use the agentic AI. So basically how it works is we have the rule-based engine and the workflow-based engine. And the way it interacts is there are multiple agents that kind of communicate and collaborate in terms of planning, executing. And they have specific agents, which does the web research, documentation RAG, and also the code execution. So with this, I think there are some fixed flows, hybrid flows, and automation, and out of which I think from IBM, we have the conversational solution, AI agents, and the automation process actually. So conversation solutions, I think we implemented a chatbot for government of Rajasthan, wherein a person can kind of interact in a Rajasthan or a native language, and then they'll be able to kind of update the Aadhaar details and how do you kind of go ahead with. And we also have multiple AI agents for banking solutions, wherein if there are some KYCs that has to be done, like how are we going to do it? So basically these are into the rule-based and the workflow-based engines. Yeah, moving with the government part, I think as of now it is mostly on the legacy modernization and the digital transformation part. So I think as of now it is in between the basic and the advanced part. So in order to kind of be a GenAI enabled, I think there are multiple layers that has to be taken care of. One is starting with the cybersecurity, omni-channel, and also the cloud enablement and the platform. Because I think there's a lot of talk about hybrid cloud, wherein certain data is available on the on-premises, and then plus it is also on the public cloud. So basically, how do you integrate the data? Have an ease of working, you would have the hybrid cloud. And once we have the data, I think we can work on the automated and the AI-fueled cognitive governance. That includes the digital invention. So basically, moving up from, the paper-based to a digital format, how do you work with the OCRs? And then having the clean data, which is very much usable by the government departments, actually. So moving on to the last part, it's on the automation portfolio. I think for every application that has to be developed, we would need an application development and an integration. So with this, I think the first would be on the integration part. We have specific tools, which help in the application development and integration. Along with that, I think there are also certain security measures that have to be taken in terms of the security incident management. How do you kind of work on the identity access management and the lifecycle part of it. So, and also once you have the system set up, you'll also have to see like how exactly your system is performing. So we have the observability as well as, the monitoring that comes in to understand like, given workflow, where exactly the problem is happening and how do you identify it. So basically for this, these are applicable on the FinOps. And in order to also have it, you would need a stable system, wherein you would have to have an inventory like Maximo, which is also can be used for a non-IT data. So that will help in the monitoring and the observability. So we also have certain solutions on the environmental intelligence. So basically this is about the carbon footprint to see like, how much carbon dioxide is being emitted by a particular unit for a given state, how much is the carbon footprint that is coming in. So with that, we can come up with the insights and that will help us with the entire end-to-end automation portfolio. So with this, I think this is the stack that we have, for various, stacks for application development, integration, infrastructure lifecycle management, and also the observability along with the asset lifecycle. So I think each of this has got multiple tools. I think I'll just leave this for now. And the next part is basically here we have identified multiple use cases for the government. So starting with the app modernization, so that will include, generating the code, making sure that the software is compatible with the inclusion of IT automation. So because there are multiple tasks and multiple jobs that have to be done, so those can be done with the IT ops and also with the data platform engineering. So basically, without a stable platform, you would not be able to kind of execute the workloads. So we also work on the data platform engineering. So once we have the data, we can work on the planning analysis and see how it can be implemented for the citizen services. And specifically for the government, we also have specific modules for the HRMS, starting from, the induction until the VRS part. I think we can have the workflow that can be set. And apart from this, we also have certain things on the environmental intelligence. So with this, I think, we can improve the manufacturing, reduce the carbon footprint, and also have custom solutions for the data related areas for the government PSUs actually. Yeah, I think this is how it is. Yeah.